Are you looking for another reason to be pissed off with the US government? Well, we got you covered, and you probably already are if you're in the XRP community, but I'm talking to the broader general public that maybe doesn't even know anything about crypto. We got you covered with this XRP Unleashed documentary that's going to be going live here today, November 21st, 2024, on fruitionproductions.com. I'm going to link it up down below. If you've pre-ordered it, it goes live at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. Or if you haven't bought it yet, you can wait to buy it once it drops. But either way, tonight we are taking this message worldwide. The XRP family, now that we've won our fight, right? We were the XRP army, now we're the family. We're going to take this message viral. We're going to save this country, and we're going to build out the level playing field that we all want. Folks, in this video, I just wanted to share a couple points on where we're at in the markets, and then I want to speak and give my reaction to seeing this documentary just 2 days ago in Los Angeles with the XRP family. Huge shout out to Chris and Maya. We had ourselves a party with the XRP family down there. The vibes were incredible, and I never thought that I'd feel this good with XRP just sitting at $1. But the fact that we've been holding that dollar, I tell you what, feels pretty dang good. And the fact that we're going to get this message out to a broader audience, that even if they don't understand crypto, they're going to understand this corruption. And then we're going to, on the back end, tell them about this little XRP digital asset that might help us level the playing field, save the world by being a neutral bridge currency for the new financial system. But without further ado, let's take a look at these markets. Let's get into it. As a reminder, appreciate your support. Everything's at zachrector.com. And if you haven't already, make sure you guys have subscribed and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our content. Let's take a look at it. Getting started here with the big one, Bitcoin, coming down here on the 4-hour chart. You see that we are printing a red candle this morning to start off the trading session. But last night, we did get that pump above 98,000 for Bitcoin. Now, interesting, if you measure, right, from the pre-election lows to what we just accomplished, Bitcoin still has only moved 47%. Not much of a comparison against an XRP that already swung 157%. And this consolidation pattern, I'm going to show you guys what the TA experts have to say here next. But what I'm keeping my eyes on right now is this Bitcoin dominance, which is also printing a massive red candle on the 4-hour chart right here. So last night, Bitcoin dominance went all the way up to 61.8. Now we're coming back down here to 60.8. And you can see here, as this comes back down, we're going to see that distribution into the rest of the cryptocurrencies. Now, SUI had a little bit of an issue last night. It did go down, not just the price. The price went down off the fact that the network was down for some 2-3 hours. So another network having issues. But if we've learned anything in the past, shoot, now might be the time to move on SUI. I looked at it when it was at $2, looked at it when it was $3. This sucker went all the way up to basically $3.90, almost $4. Nice little run. But it's just been incredible to watch. Networks like Solana that continuously go down and have issues. It's like they might temporarily come down in price, but then they just keep on pumping back up. So it's better, I guess, to have the network being used and have issues than to just not have any activity at all. Now, the good news is that we're finally starting to see activity explode on the XRP ledger. We're getting that functionality, that programmability that developers need to start building businesses, DeFi, and real products on top of the XRP ledger. So that is coming. But the best thing is that we haven't really had any issues, right? We had like a little bug when our AMM went live, and it wasn't even that big of a deal. It was like some far off use case. And, some of the guys I thought were a little bit dramatic with, the potential threat that it posed. It really wasn't a hiccup at all. And so the XRP ledger's shown, unlike these other ledgers, that it's been able to withstand. And I really believe that as we see the activity on the XRP ledger grow, we are set up to be able to handle, well, we say all the money. Not that we're going to get all the money, but we actually want to be able to handle this type of load. And we've done so for over 10 years now. So I did want to point out as well, too, XLM is performing incredibly well. I'm going to remeasure here because it did pump. So now we're up 200% on the swing from lows to the highs here for XLM. Very strong move, very impressive. So right now, as it stands, XLM here at 23 cents was up to 27 cents is basically where we tapped off. XLM actually leading the charge. So XLM, XRP, the only other bigger swings are on Dogecoin and on other meme coins, basically. So the real alpha this bull run so far has been meme coins And after the Trump victory, it's been XRP, XLM, Cardano's done really well. Sui's done really well, despite the fact that the ledger had a little hiccup last night, right? But how fascinating to watch this. XLM and XRP leading the charge. And it's like a healthy competition, right? Between a brother and a sister, relatives, right? XRP and XLM so closely intertwined. But as I was speaking on Bitcoin dominance, 360 Trader says Bitcoin is close to losing dominance. Doesn't mean it's done creating new all-time highs, but the flip of the switch is close. And so what I like to see right now is that we're just holding. I don't want to see this thing just go up and up for like a meme coin, right? I don't want our chart to look like a meme coin. Going up 157% in a week, that was fantastic. But what's been even better is the fact that we've held $1. And over the past 24 hours, we've really held above that $1.10 mark. And so hopefully we can flip $1.10 into support. These last lines of defense is basically that dollar mark is a big psychological number. And then this is where the panic comes in, because if folks have money on the sidelines, and this is why even if we do get a little bit of a dip, it's not going to last long, because everybody has the order books filled all the way from this price all the way down to $1, waiting to buy $1 XRP again. Try to get that 99-cent special, right? But this is where the panic sets in, because if we don't go back, well, then these guys are going to be coming in to buy at $1.20, $1.30, and then this is where we can really extend out and have some fun. Credible Crypto says this: I think XRP is probably going to make new all-time highs a lot quicker than most are expecting. I think it's going to vastly outperform both Bitcoin and Ethereum from the current levels while doing it. XRP ETH just reclaimed and retested a 4-year-long range, with the first target being 250% higher. That level on the chart takes us to about a $9 XRP if we go there by the end of the year. How does that sound? Does that sound pretty dang good to you? See, this is what's happening right here. The timing of this couldn't have been better. I was really worried about this documentary being released while the lawsuit's still going on, while XRP wasn't performing, sitting around at 50 cents, right? I was really worried about that. But upon the Trump victory, XRP has been one of the top performers, leading the charge, getting attention. Brad Garlinghouse on Fox Business, you've seen that, right? This is our moment. This momentum has been building, but now we even put a little bit more behind this. The price action is the lead, right? You can do all this and that. And we've done this for the past 7 years. All these partnerships, all this adoption. Oh, a new amendment's coming. Oh, we're finally going to get an AMM. And I said, these are all great developments, but I never expected AMM to be the flip of the switch. I never expected, some of these other little partnerships to be necessarily the flip of the switch. Would I have liked to see XRP maybe get a little bit of a bump off some of these news events that took place? I would have. But the point being, what's happening now is that we are moving just with the rest of the space, like has happened in previous cycles. What's different this time around, though, is XRP's been set free. We are no longer burdened by this lawsuit. We are no longer burdened by not being listed on exchanges. There's no longer a lack of clarity around the digital asset XRP. There's no longer confusion about how Ripple can use XRP with their partners, how they can sell it to their partners, right? Now we know. Now it's clear. And no matter what happens with this lawsuit, which we're expecting, obviously, Gary Gensler to resign any day now. We're expecting the SEC to drop all non-fraud, basically all the cases which are weak, which is a lot of them. They do have a role to play. We're not saying that the SEC necessarily needs to be dissolved. Probably could be cut substantially, and we really do need to redirect their focus on what their mandate was per the Congress. But at this point, the XRP lawsuit, Ripple versus SEC, is over for all intents and purposes. It's just going to be a matter of how much of a fine are they going to pay. And in agreeing to pay probably a smaller amount on the fine, Ripple could settle up with the SEC and say, yeah, you let us pay just $50 million. We can wrap this thing up, seal it up, and it can all be over. But despite all that, we're in the clear. XRP has been set free. And as this documentary was originally titled, XRP is now being unleashed. And nothing speaks better or helps us make this case better than price action. Now what do we have to follow up with? when folks want to come learn about this little digital asset, folks who are new to crypto and want to learn about what the heck's been going on with Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, and others. This documentary lays it out perfectly. This documentary, a huge shout out to Chris, Maya, the production crew, the sound guys, the visuals. They made us look good. They made us sound good. That was great. And I must say, it was an honor to be featured in the film. An absolute honor to play a role in this film. The stars of this show were Jimmy Valley and John Deaton, without a doubt. Those are the guys that put together the timeline. But before we got into the timeline in XRP, they started out the documentary by explaining the phenomenon known as Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, right? Starting with the basics for someone who knows nothing about crypto. This is a documentary where they can come in and get caught up, basically completely caught up to speed on the main story between Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP. When we move into the timeline, the presentation as it was laid out, some of the best content that I've, quite frankly, ever seen in crypto was what Jimmy Valley put together with his timeline, his whiteboard, the receipts, the documentation, everything. Right next to him was John Deaton, adding supplemental evidence, putting together the timeline, showing the faces, the connections, tying it all together. So Jimmy Valley and John Deaton, and a shout out to Fred too, another one of our lawyers, that explained the legal part of this case. You have to understand that most Americans don't even know what the SEC is. So for folks that are new to crypto or just learning about it, who don't even really know what the SEC is, right? This gets everybody caught up to speed. And then we zero in on this timeline that's never been in dispute. And the one thing that we were missing was real receipts, like text messages and emails and communication between these parties. Because what we got, we remember how hard we had to fight. And Empower Oversight was featured in the documentary as well too, where they tell their story of how they saw the XRP army. And they said, oh, this is what we do. Let's help. Let's hop on this. Let's help these guys out. And they had to fight like hell to just get the documents released. And when they got released, they'd be completely redacted. And it was up to the XRP community to take over from there, and we would connect all the pieces. We'd see the blacked out parts, the parts that we couldn't read, but we pieced it all together, and we were still able to put so much together, even with the redactions in those documents, that we had to fight like hell. Remember how hard the SEC fought? And in this documentary, it did remind me of this. Some of these things I forgot about, how hard we fought just to get the Hinman speech draft notes and those emails in regards to that. We had to fight like hell. Well, the rest of the space, where were they? Right? The missing link was Steven Narioff, the Ethereum whistleblower. And that's where the bombs come in. And I can't even begin to tell you how moving it was to watch Steven. You could see the emotion as he told and shared his story, how emotional it was for him. His family members, I guess, arrived at the New York screening, and they just said how thankful they were, to the film crew, what they were able to do to just tell his story. Now, his story is a documentary in and of itself, but it was the missing link that we really needed. Because in this, you're going to see the text messages or emails between Charles Hoskinson and Steven Narioff, where he outright admits that he knew Ethereum and Vitalik was controlled by China. And not only did the SEC allow and know about this influence over Ethereum, we also can look, there's already documentaries that have been put out of all the fraudulent IPOs that were allowed to come to market under Jay Clayton and his administration as well. So it wasn't just a free pass for Ethereum. Like we said, we have deeply rooted corruption at this agency. This documentary exposes it all, perfectly laid out, and it did not disappoint. The one thing that is going to finish this story, the ending of this film, we kind of have to leave it with a cliffhanger of the opportunity for XRP is great, but this case is still going on. XRP's only at $1.10, even though that does feel pretty dang good right about now. What I hope between now and when we take this to mass market is that we can see the case resolution. We can see that XRP's gone up even further. And that's the only thing that I'd like to see added to this film is another couple screens. They did say at the end of the screen that the SEC declined to be interviewed for the film. I thought that was pretty funny. The only other thing that I'd like to see added is that on such and such date, the SEC versus Ripple settlement occurred, and Ripple paid a fine of this and gets to go about their business. And on this date, someday in the future now, XRP is trading at $5 or $10. And maybe we can throw in a couple clips of the XRP community having itself a party. That's the only thing. I mean, this story is still going on, but they did an incredible job putting this whole thing together and taking us to the point that we're at right now, which is already basically complete victory. It's already basically complete victory. But now it's up to the community to take this message viral. It's up to us to go buy this documentary, having watch parties with our families, our friends, our business partners, right? This is not a documentary. Don't sell them on the crypto. Don't sell them on XRP. This is a story of government corruption that people need to know about. Every single American needs to know about this story that cares about this country. Now, a lot of people have been asking, why isn't this going on Netflix? Why isn't this on Amazon right away? Amazon takes half. Netflix and Hollywood's not interested. They wouldn't be allowed. In fact, I'm glad that Hollywood didn't buy this film and bury it like I was worried about. And I talked with Maya and Chris about this. I said, watch out, because this is a story that they'll buy and bury. So I'm glad that they're doing it this way because, once again, Hollywood could have buried this. Amazon wants half. And Chris and Maya independently funded, self-funded this film themselves. And so they're releasing it on their website. You can buy it. I think it's $15 or so. And eventually it will be on Amazon. And eventually it could end up being on Netflix or others as well too. But it's up to us right now to support this production crew, this team, very small team, but a very strong team. They put together a professional piece of work, an incredible documentary that I think will actually set the standard for documentaries in crypto. Most of the documentaries in crypto have been about scammers, pump and dumps, bad stuff, negativity. This highlights the corruption that's held back the opportunity in crypto, the positive impact that crypto can make on the world. Now, how big of a role is XRP going to make? Well, that's up to us to continue pushing, to continue building and getting the word out. But for right now, we know what to do. We got to get the word out. We got to support this documentary, get the word out. We're going to continue by strategically reaching out to people. The documentary has already been sent to the Trump team, and we're doing our best right now to work these back channels to get this documentary to go all the way up to the very, very tippy top, the upper echelon of our government, of other parties that may be interested. And hopefully, we will finally get justice for the XRP community, for Ripple. We will finally bring justice to those that need to be held accountable within our government. And lastly, hopefully we'll get what we've all been striving for, which is just simply put life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness on a level playing field. You guys are not going to want to miss this documentary. It's going live tonight at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. I'll be watching it again with the family. I appreciate all of you guys on the way out. Can we tap it? Can we smack it? If I saw you in LA, by the way, tag me in Twitter, post the picture, tag me in Twitter. I can't wait to see it. I had so much fun seeing everybody, and I can't wait till the next in-person meetup once again. God bless each and every single one of you. Let's continue the fight. Take care out there. I am your host, Zach Rector. I really appreciate all of the love and support. If you want to support the channel, just remember that you can start by smashing that thumbs up for me, sharing this content far and wide, and everything else is at my website.